3stryke. From the 14 parishes of Yard to the 50 states of the US of A. You wouldn't believe what I've seen. What have you seen, yo? And that shit is for real. I've seen tears like raindrop, stress like death drop. Never had the chance, but these words are eavesdrop. My life is set back.
Hi, welcome to Wagwan, right here in the island of Jamaica. And today we'll be talking to an artist which has just come from the US. We're gonna find out all about that when we enter. Hello! Hi!
3stryke, yeah.
Hi, and your name is?
Tish.
Tish. Okay.
Feeling the blues at nights, drinking hard liquor, taking views on rights. I work until the early morning. I still hustle cause I need an earning. My lifestyle, it is a burden, but I swear I'll never die. I work until the early morning. I still hustle cause I need an earning. My lifestyle, it is a burden, but I swear I'll never die. Yeah, I swear I'll never die. No mercy, pure blood, straight out envy. We black community, the worst society. Politics ain't funny, these thugs ain't running. Check the hot spot, I got liquor and weed.
3stryke, welcome to Wagwan.
Happy, very happy. It's so much because
Okay.
the one Jamaica understand. See, because it's a 3stryke thing. It's all about 3stryke and what is happening. So we have to be welcome. Have to feel very welcome. 3stryke.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with your background. Where did you grow up?
Interesting, you should ask. You know what I mean? Interesting, you should ask. DEMI can tell us some stories about Kingston because I feel his brain, but I was born in Victoria Jubilee. You know what I mean? And from Victoria Jubilee, you know, I said Victoria Jubilee because it's very rare someone should come from Victoria. Normally them born in a hospital, which Victoria Jubilee, you know what is Victoria Jubilee. And I come from Victoria Jubilee. So we play with the English language. 3stryke, I come out and I come out. See? But anyway, forget all that. Born at Victoria Jubilee, you know what I mean? Grew up in Waterford. Spent at least, let's say, the first 13 years of my life up in Waterford. I mean, I was there right up onto that stage there. So if you would like, you could say I'm a Kingstonian. Because I was born in Kingston, I grew up in St. Catherine. Then I took it to the west side. You know what I mean? There was a lot happening, personal issues and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There was a lot of demons. You know what I mean? This world was not ready for 3stryke. Which at the time I wasn't really 3stryke, but it still wasn't ready for me. You know what I mean? So in terms of where I'm coming from, that's where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? I'm originally from Kingston. But people in the western parishes like Westmoreland, they will tell you that I'm from there because I gave them so many years.
Okay.
St. James, I gave them so many years. You know what I'm saying?
So was it a situation where you were back and forth from Westmoreland to Kingston, or was it a matter where you left from Kingston, no more with Kingston, Westmoreland?
It was a back and forth, but it wasn't even so much from Kingston to Westmoreland. You know what I mean? It was more so like from Christiana, Manchester to Westmoreland, to St. Elizabeth, Magati, to, I mean, I've been so many places, you know what I mean? I get around, I was moved around. Even back to Kingston, you know what I mean? There was some personal issues going on, you know what I mean? There was a major challenge, and the major challenge was whether I was going to stay alive or survive. You know what I mean? As a youth, as a youngster growing up, I had to be that quick. You know what I mean? All my life I've been bored out. You know what I mean? I was bored out, rented out, whatever. I didn't grow up with my parents like, okay, I was with my mom for this year, with my dad for that year. As a child, they put me in a house, they pay the bills, I go to school, they check up on me, they make sure that I'm straight like that, and I do my part. So that's where the moving around came in. After, you know what I mean, I was with some of my uncles and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I spent a little time with them from time to time. We did the boarding procedures and living out their procedures, but 3stryke had stuff going on with them. You know what I mean? So I was really torn from. So even though I spent most of those years in Kingston, I was still in Kingston. On holidays I was back in Kingston.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My father is really originally from Kingston. He had a house there. My mom is from the west side. She had a house there. So, you know what I mean? I was really to and from, you know what I mean, these two made the parishes.
So you said, you talked about boarding. You mentioned boarding and holidays. Which school did you go to?
When it comes to the school, I tell her where it starts and where it ends. In between, it seems like an infinite journey. Like it's infinity. There's no end to it, even though there was an end. I started at Waterford Primary and ended at Magatia. But throughout that process of time, I've been to so many different schools. You know what I mean? I spent like 1 year at this school, 1 year at that one, then go back to this one and repeat another year. So I end up spending 2 years, and then another year at that one, then 2 years at that one. It was crazy. As I keep telling you, I was all over the place. So where those things concerned, for me to even leave high school and left with some achievements, 7 passes in terms of CXC, stuff like that, a couple of little SSC. The JCs, I didn't even pay them any attention because my brain just keep telling me, listen, you're too big for that. So I didn't pay any attention, which that was my young mind, because all knowledge is knowledge, you know what I mean? You should never turn away knowledge. That's what I'm here today to show Jamaica, that it's all about knowledge, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So did you have any plans after high school? What was it going to be? College? University?
It's funny, you should ask about college because I started college and I just quit the procedure. You know what I mean? At the time I felt as if I was disrespected. Not because it was my education and all, but I felt disrespected, so I really went through the process. I went through the interview, I was supposed to start the semester. I just didn't turn up, my bag was packed, but I wasn't at college. My family, they probably thought there was something that they couldn't understand how could he not return up for college, you know what I mean? But what really happened, I was very charismatic, very poetic, very artistic, especially with the words from within high school. So even before I left high school, I knew where I was going. You know what I mean? I had a place, I had a dream. I see a place somewhere in this music thing. I saw that spot, you know, and that spot is a spot with a little trim of purple, a little trim of blue, a little trim of red. It had various colors that will bring out expression that 3stryke is trying to take out, that 3stryke is trying to show to Jamaica and the universe at large. But I felt very disrespected. So I took it to another level. You know what I mean? I was seeing the colors of music from those days. You know what I mean? So me and my friends, even though we're at the graduation and we're at college, but we're going to take it back right before we graduate. You know what I mean? I had a whole class of students call me a manipulator, you know what I mean, a hypnotizer, I don't know. But we are planning to take the plane and run off. Because we were like, this dream, we need it, you know what I mean? We were like a bunch of singers and rappers and actors and people with big dreams and, you know what I mean? Was going for it. So we're planning to like just go on this Disney trip, right up in high school, and just didn't come back and go just bus a fire, that's what I said.
Okay. 3stryke, so at school, how did principal, teachers, how did they see you at school? Did they see you as this bad person? How did they see you?
I've seen many principals, but I'll keep it current to the final, you know what I mean, the last. Let's say save the best for that. So it must be a reason why I was there. I think that my principal, they respected me. They liked me. They showed me love in so many words. I would say that they were passion there, you know what I mean, in very strong emotion with me and my teachers. My homeroom teacher, you know what I mean, they believed in me. They believed in the whole class. We were like a bunch of geniuses, you know what I mean, and school was great. I love high school. I love high school very much, you know what I mean. I spend days at high school, even after school I'd go home late, I just hang out at school. I really love school, you know what I mean. I felt school gave me power, you know what I mean. Just getting that A, you know what I mean, being on top of the class, you know what I mean, having the answers, even for some of the teachers sometimes, that felt good. So I was like shining in school, so I was performing, I felt good. So I love high school.
How often did you see your parents? Were they around to know what was happening in school with the academics?
They were very informed. They were very informed, you know what I mean. I would visit my mom's weekends, you know what I mean, sometime month end, sometime every 2 months, my past, you know what I mean, likewise. I had to see them, they have the money, they pay the school fee.
Did they come to Jamaica?
Well, they were in Jamaica, and I mean, my past made a little trips now and then, but you know, they were always here. But they were always, I guess, doing their thing. You know what I mean? They wasn't there at PT and stuff like that because, as I told you, how my thing was. You know what I mean? My mom was doing her, my papa was doing his. It wasn't a case of neglect, though. You know what I mean? It was a case of Jamaica being real and surviving. You know what I mean? I'm the third or fourth brother of my mom. You know what I mean? So she had to do what she had to do. You know what I mean? She have to make that happen when I come in at night.
So you lived alone?
I lived alone pretty much, so except for the exception, the relative, my kinfolk now and then my uncle or stuff. But there were times when I was alone, like alone for a year or 2 years, stuff like that. And you know what I mean, in a house being in charge as a youngster, yeah.
Smoking.
It is so heavenly. Even for you to say smoking, you were just blessed. Believe me. Tonight when you pray to your God, which is my God, you will see something you have never seen before, just because it's smoking.
When did you start smoking?
I've never really been a big fan of smoking. Merely, I didn't understand it.
How did the music have an impact on you smoking?
The music had if I should say, no impact on me smoking. You know, where smoking is concerned, I wasn't a big fan of smoking. I didn't criticize it. I didn't embrace it. I was very neutral. Where the smoking is concerned, I couldn't care less. It wasn't a topic of mine. How I started smoking is a funny thing. You know, in the country, you know, I grew up around people smoking. You know what I mean? I spent time around smokers.
Marijuana.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I spent time around people who deal with the ganja. And I should put it like that. I won't deny it. I've been to the ganja field. You know what I mean? I've been to the ganja field, I've drank the ganja tea and stuff like that. So I spent time on people preparing the marijuana and turning it into, you know what I mean, picking it, nurturing and stuff. So I've seen it. I've learned to, at the time I started learning about it. You know what I mean? I'd ask questions, I'd smell it. I still like the aroma to this day, it's beautiful. You know, I think our females should have a cologne or something from the weed stuff. But anyways.
Are you aware of the negative impact that weed has on the body?
3stryke is aware that marijuana can do some good and it can do some harm. Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends on the person who is using it to really decide whether they're going to do good or evil. It's just like being a driver, you can do something good, something bad. It's just like being a journalist, an entertainer, a chef. You know what I mean? Each person or each thing in this category have a negative and a positive side. So it's all about the one who is using it to do good or bad. You know what I mean? Frankly,
so you're saying that
my use of marijuana is very positive. It's good. It's right for me. It's right for people who believe in it the same way as I do. You know what I mean?
So you believe in the herb?
Yes, I do believe in marijuana. I believe in herb. I believe in ganja. I believe in cannabis. I believe in things that comes from ganja, marijuana. Yes, I believe in it. I believe in this puff as we take it. I believe in it because it brings out the true you. It doesn't give you much opportunity to be a faker. When you're under the influence, you reveal the true you. Believe me. It will bring out the deepest part of you, and that's where people need to see. People need to see the true you, not the fake you under a mask. As human beings, we wear many masks. You know what I mean? Sometimes smiling when you really want to be crying. You know what I mean? Anger, pretending not to be angry, stuff like that. Marijuana will allow you to be yourself on the spot. That is sometimes scary for some people, but that's how it should be. You know what I mean? That way you can choose your friends properly. You know what I mean? That way you can deliver properly. That way you can be who you are properly. You know what I mean? So I believe it has a little bit of good and a little bit of bad, but it depends on how you use it. You can use it to do good or you can use it to do bad.
Are your parents proud of 3strykes today?
My mother is very proud of me. My mother, she loves me. I think my father doesn't really understand me, but he's proud of me. I don't think he understands me.
Why do you say that?
I'm a controversial side of him, you know what I mean? Maybe he think I would probably be more like him, I don't know.
Who is your father?
My father is Oscar Brown, live on Waterford, Zaladilway. Daddy, big up yourself. at 3stryke. I miss you, one. I saw what I did right now, with up on TV. Jamaica on the Lodge. 3stryke. But Yeah, you know what I mean? Him alright, you know what I mean? Him alright. Him there, you know, him a go up in that age, but I feel like everybody really have a plan for me. Especially. I'm his last son.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I feel like everybody probably have them one.
The wash belly.
Well, not really the wash belly, but the last one. I think him white. They have some more that as well.
Oh.
You know, some of them, have some, yeah, he has some that or some sister of mine. So yeah, I think everybody has them wonderful plans though. Isn't it?
They wanted you in jacket and tie.
Maybe so, jacket and tie. But I'm so controversial because at times I'm in jacket and tie. You know what I mean? It depends on the occasion.
Okay.
Today you know me, tomorrow you won't. I'll walk right by you and you wouldn't recognize me. You know what I mean? It's show business. You know what I mean? I believe living your life, you should live it as a show also. You know what I mean? You'll be happy forever. Like some people get lost in the movie or lost in a song or lost in the sound of music. Get lost in your life too, you know what I mean? Be happy with something, you know what I mean? Get up every day and do something fascinated and love that stuff. That's what 3stryke is promoting. That's why I have to smoke, you know what I mean? You've got to just get up and today is going to be a happy day. Jamaica, this one is for you. Today is going to be a very happy day. Every Jamaican, get up and say today is going to be a happy day. You take a puff, you take a drink, you get out, you make some money, you smile, you have a drink. You know what I'm saying? Link up a friend. Big up the mall road past the Cockburn pen. I don't know. See, a 3stryke something. Back at Waterford. In fact, I take a break and big up. I don't forget big up. You know what I mean? You don't know.